Hey everyone, I hope everyone is doing great and being safe. And here I am with another very important video about a very common problem students face while they apply for master's or PhD programs, especially with the thesis option. So, one very important question and also very frequent doubt students ask me while they apply for these master's programs or thesis programs is what exactly should I write in an email when to a professor, or how should I write an email to a professor. So uh, when you write apply for a thesis program, like I said in my last video, you need to write emails to professors before applying to the university. So in this video, let's discuss why you should write these emails, and also how you should gather information and what information you should gather before writing that email, and also what and how to write that email, and also what happens after you write these emails. So without any delay, let's look into the video and discuss all these things. So before you start writing that email, you have to understand why you should write that email. So when you apply these uh, programs as a student, you will be doing research as a part of a bigger research of a professor. So you will be working under a particular professor and doing a smaller part or a smaller area of research in his total research. A professor, you need a professor to guide you and to supervise you, because it is his research, and also you're doing working under that particular professor. So for any research, even for a professor, one important thing they need is basically money. So this is funding for his research. So the university does not normally give all of the funding available for his research, or all of the money that is needed for that particular professor's research. So it is the professor's responsibility to secure that funding by himself, and this particular professor secures this funding or the money needed for their research through different sources. One of them is writing grants for the government organizations, research organizations, and also collaborating with the industries and also other research partners. So as a professor does hard work to secure this funding, uh, they are also very careful with how they spend that funding. So that is why they carefully select the students they want to work with, and in order to give them funding, they need to know if a student is really having same research interests, or does that particular student really fits into his lab. So that's one reason even the university allows the professors to pick their own students, and uh, not based on the decision of the university. So now you know why you should write these emails, and let's look at what you need to know before you start writing that email. So one very important thing is you can't write mails to every single professor in every university. So to narrow down this process, I would say make a list of the universities you want to apply, basically. So focus on those universities, and you can prepare the list of the professors you want to also apply you want to write emails before starting those emails. So how do you find this list of professors in a university? So if you go to the university website, in the department website, this list of professors will be under the name faculty, or faculty and staff, or people, depending on the university. But either under the people or faculty and staff, you'll find the list of professors. So their if you go on to their profile, if you click on their name, their profiles will open, and normally on every university, a professor's profile will have their brief background about who they are, what did they study, where did they study, and all other stuff like that. So it also has the professor's research interests, what are the research areas the professors are interested to work on, and also some professors have their own lab website. If you have their own, if they have their own lab website, they have more detailed information about research on their lab website. So you can also check if the professor has his own lab website, or normally you can find that on their profile on the university website. So that's one way to know the research interests of that particular professor. And the second thing to know is what are the current projects the professor is working on. Also, normally professors list these current projects on the profile, and if they have the lab website, again there will be more detailed information on that. And one other thing, if you don't find current projects listed, one other way to find out this is to look at the recent publications of the professor, which helps in identifying what are the sort of projects they're doing, what areas are they working on. And also these recent publications will also help you in identifying whether the professor has funding or not. So if a professor is oftenly publishing, that means they are doing active research and they have money to do that active research. So that means you can assume they have good amount of funding for their active research. So that will help you in not only identifying the research areas they are working on, also having an idea if they are having funding or not. So one other thing is you can simply look at grants of funding listed on the profile. Not all professors list this on their profiles, but you can some professors do that on the profiles on the lab website or on the university profile. So you can look at that, and even if it is not there, you don't need to worry about that. It's just an extra information to have a better idea about the professor who you are mailing to. So don't worry even if you don't find this information at this point. It's not really important. One other thing to know is check if current students are listed there. So one thing you can do is you can talk to those current students about the professor, inquire and ask questions about them, how the professor is, and what relationship does he have with his lab students, and what kind of supervision he offers. So that's very important to know before you join a professor's labs, to have a better idea of the professor, because you will be there for at least 2 years if you are in masters, or at least 4 years if you are in PhD. So you need to have in order to have a good professor, you need to know what beforehand into what kind of lab you're going in. So talking to current students will really help that. Now that you also know what information you need to gather and why you should write emails, let's go into checking what to write an email to a professor. So one very important thing before you write emails is to keep in mind that to keep the email short. Don't write lengthy emails. Don't write 2 to 3 page emails, because the professors won't have the time to read all of that. They will be receiving tons of emails just like yours. So don't waste your time and the professor's time by writing a lengthy email. So no one, and also you obviously know that no one will read all those lengthy paragraphs. Even on Facebook you don't read it. So don't worry about writing a lengthy paragraphs. Keep the email short and precise. So the first thing is give yourself a brief intro about who you are and what is your current position, what are you doing currently, and also come to the point. Tell exactly why you are writing that particular email. So hey, I'm so and so, I'm from this university, or I'm from India, from this university, and I studied this program, and I'm currently working as this, or currently doing this, and I'm writing this email to inquire about a position under your supervision. So that's it. So give a brief introduction and tell them why you're writing that email. So one of the next thing is to write about the common research background you both have, and also the common research interests you have. So if you have anything related or common in with the professor, you can list out all those things. You can write about those things. And the third thing is list your relative skills and experience, whatever you have whatever research experience or whatever relative skills you have in relation to the professor's research work. List out all of them. Talk about not only what you will get out of the professor's lab, I mean working under him, but also what you can contribute to the professor's lab, like what are your skills as a team member or a group member, as a student, what you can offer to the professor's lab. So that's one good way to impress a professor, talking not only about him but also about yourself, about what you can offer. So also don't forget to attach a detailed statement of purpose or research interests, also your resume, transcripts, and also your scores if you have anything ready like GRE and IELTS. Also, if you don't have the scores ready while you start writing emails, don't worry about that. You don't need absolutely everything to start writing in emails. You can even send them later, but you can attach your just resume, transcripts, and a research statement while you write emails. So that's enough basically. So I would say keep the email short, maybe 15-20 lines, not more than that. So also try to articulate the email in a very good way to impress the professor. So you won't get many chances, and also the professors are really busy and they might not have the time to read a long email or clumsy email. So articulate it well, structure it, and write it on point and precisely. And yeah, you can just attach all these documents and the email. So what happens after you write an email? So normally students also generally text me saying, hey, I sent emails to the professors, but no one is replying, or I'm not getting quick replies or something. So one thing is, the professors, one thing to keep in mind is the professors are really busy and they don't always check their emails, especially from the especially from these prospective students. They might not do it so often. So if you don't receive a reply within 10 to 14 days, I would say wait for 14 days is a good time to wait, and send a reminder. You can follow up sending a reminder about your past, about your previous email. Just send them just forward them the same email, and add a gentle reminder note saying, hey, I mailed you regarding this, and I don't know if you had the time to look at that, but if you didn't, please take a look and let me know if it is possible to accept me as a student. That's it. So you can just add that as a reminder note and send that email once again. But one thing I would say is don't bother the professor sending emails every other day. If they don't reply, send a reminder email, and if you really are very much interested in that particular professor, send one other reminder. But that's enough, I guess. It is not good to bother the professor with continuous emails, even if they don't reply. So what happens if a professor likes your profile? You sent an email, the professor likes your profile. What next? So if a professor likes your profile, normally they might want to have an interview sometimes. So it is not very technical. It will be mostly non-technical, and although it's a formal interview, it is also non-formal. So be confident, be prepared, and do research about that particular professor's research, about his recent publications, to talk a few things and to impress the professor. And also don't worry about being don't you worry about the interview itself. The professors are generally very friendly, so you can be free, comfortable, and also don't be nervous. Be confident. You can talk to them about anything. And also one other important thing is to ask questions. Do not forget to ask questions. Ask questions about the professor's research, his current projects, his current students, and what whatnot. You can ask anything, and also ask questions about funding possibilities mainly. If a professor can offer any kind of funding, either complete or partial, you can talk about that. Don't worry. Don't hesitate to ask questions about funding too. I guess that's it. So these are all the things you need to know while you write emails to your professors. I hope this helps students, and I hope you have I hope you get replies, and you get accepted from the professors. So if you like the video, please like it, and subscribe to the channel, and also share the video and also the channel. And also, if you have any other questions or doubts, please comment below. I would be more than happy to answer, and also make videos about other important topics. Thank you.